So if you're coming across this video, listening, watching, however you're tapping in, I just need you to throw up the number 3. We were able to go 3 for 3 at the Tax and Tea Lounge in Charlotte, North Carolina. So we started back in March. We followed it up Labor Day weekend, and then we just ended the first weekend of December. So sat down with 3 very talented individuals, this most recent one being Shawnna of Shawnna Sweet Treats. And I don't know about y'all, I've been trying to watch the diet, trying to watch my sweets consumption. So this was a very hard episode to record, to stay disciplined, because, you know, she had the samples out there that everybody was really enjoying. She was even talking about some of her content and the orders that she was able to put together. So for me, you know, my mouth is just drooling. I'm really just wanting every day to be a cheat day, but I had to stay disciplined. But nonetheless, this was a beautiful interview just because a lot of Shawnna's content, you don't see her face. You're not always able to put a face to the brand. You really just see the products. You see the custom made orders. You see the cakes, the cake pops, everything. She brings anything and everything to life, I promise you. But to be able to be sitting right next to her, to be able to get that real-time reaction, to be able to really get down to business with the face behind the brand, it was amazing. So I definitely encourage everybody out there, whether you're in Charlotte, North Carolina, whether you're in surrounding areas, tap in with her. She can truly bring your vision to life. She will not disappoint. And did I mention that it's tasty? Come on, that's the most important part. So without further ado, enjoy our last live event. Enjoy episode 120, Satisfy Your Sweet Tooth. All right, so welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Down to Business podcast here with Tamar Turner. It looks a little different. You know, we had to bring back the Labor Day weekend vibe. We had to bring back the very first event that we did back in March. So we are officially at the Tax and Tea Lounge once again. I'm sitting right next to her. You see, I could bump her. We could make contact and all of that. So I'm very excited, man. Very just excited just to be back here, to be back in Charlotte. Everybody knows I love North Carolina, despite me living in Tampa and everything like that. But just very excited to have the live audience in front of me. Very excited to have the vibes and all of that. And nonetheless, I'm just very excited to get down to business. Shawnna is a very talented individual, somebody who I have been watching for quite some time now, somebody who I've been able to taste it myself, watch other people get the testimonials and everything like that. So the fact that I have her in the building, the fact that she was able to give some samples and bless the people, I'm good for it. So to everybody tapping in, we got the IG live going. We got the live audience in front of us. Shawnna, how you doing? How's everything? How you feeling?
I'm doing good. I was nervous. So I'm trying to, shake out the jitters. So if my voice a little shaky, I'm not scared.
No thing.
Just nervous.
No thing. All right.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm blessed. The drinks are flowing. The hookah is about to be flowing in a little bit. I see the cameras. My dog just walked in, so I can't really make any complaints. So for the people out there, I know we have some new faces in here. I know we have some familiar faces in here. I know we're going to have some people tapping in. I know we're going to have your side, my side, far in and few between. Can you just, one, tell us a little bit about yourself, and then can you, two, tell us what brings you to the Tax and Tea Lounge, to the Down to Business podcast today?
Well, I'm Shawnna of Shawnna Sweet Treats. That is my business. I've curated. It started because I made an Instagram just to showcase desserts I made the end of 2020. But I've been baking since I was little. Love being in the kitchen. That was my happy place. Being in the kitchen where I was cooking. Breakfast was me and my dad's specialty. Being there cooking, got the music going. Just a good time. So the kitchen was always my happy place. I'm stressed. Let me cook something. People came over. Let me cook something. I'm just that hostess type of person. And, baking specifically was just where I found my passion to grow. Food Network, specifically the show Ace of Cakes, if anybody watched it, that's one that had my heart. So that's how I got started. So those people happy about their job, because, people don't be liking their jobs these days. So watching that had me passionate about baking. I want to do that. I want to be happy in an environment, and baking was that for me.
Okay. So we could do the after party at your spot. You said you're cooking.
It's not what I said.
You did. You didn't say it, but okay. So
I like to cook.
So you more so moved over to the baking side of things. I get that. Somebody who is I wouldn't call myself a Food Network enthusiast, but I do watch the Gordon Ramsays. I love Bobby Flay. That's my dog. I feel like I could go in there and get right. He'll probably win, but they definitely have taught me a few things. So baking more specifically, would you say it's a big transition? Would you say that there was a big difference from you just, cooking, using the stove, oven, microwave, or however you kind of did that, even stove top, to really just baking? I feel like with baking comes a lot of intricacies. I feel like there's just certain things it was funny. I saw a TikTok the other day and it kind of brought back some memories for me. So it was somebody saying, when my mom made me mad, but she baking a cake,
And so he started stomping on the ground. I forgot that, when you make a lot of noise when something's in the oven, it can drop or like sink in or things like that. So would you say that there was a lot that you had to consider when transitioning into baking? Was it very similarly to what you were used to cooking? Was it a big adjustment?
Baking is completely different because I already liked it. It wasn't that much of a transition. Baking, there's science that's involved. Like you do too much baking soda, baking powder, it's going to mess up the whole, like your cake can turn green because you have too much baking soda. But you won't know that until it's baked. So it's like, wow, now I got to start over and complete this whole process and make sure, you're reading the recipe right. You're making sure the measurements are right. With cooking, salt bait. You just sprinkle a little, like, taste it. Okay, that's good. You should not eat raw dough. Just salmonella is real. So you can't just taste the batter and be like, I think this is good. No, it's definitely a trial and error when it comes to baking. You find new recipes. Let the people try it. They don't like it. You don't like it. Perfect it, tweak it. So definitely a transition compared to cooking. Okay. Definitely love it though.
So with that, like you said, making the transition, no green cakes, no raw dough, no none of that. I feel you. As somebody who's actually been trying to cut sweets out of their diet, I stay away from a lot of that. I gotta protect the temple, But when did this really become a business for you? When did you really decide? Did it start off as just, you were making things here and there for friends and they kind of said, Shawnna, like, this is good. This is great. I think you should kind of elevate with this. Did you yourself just take matters into your own hands? Was there anything that kind of propelled you into that? When did you really decide to brand yourself as Shawnna Sweet Treats?
I officially made Shawnna Sweet Treats December 2020 when I made an Instagram. And I was like, okay, I'm going to get serious. Like, I always bake stuff and I'll post it like on my personal Instagram here and there. People like it, share, like, oh, I want some. Didn't think much of it. And I was like, let me make a page dedicated. You don't want to just bombard people if they're not interested. I want the people that actually care about what I make and want to know more about this side of me. So I made that Instagram and it's been taking off slowly but surely. Got a lot of new different clientele. I typically, coworkers, I'll bring samples in. Like, if I have anything left over, I bring it to work. They're like, oh, I want to try that. So I'm also like an experimental type of person. So you say like, I ain't never had this, but I seen it on Instagram. Can you make that? I'll try it. Like, I'm down for a challenge and exploring new things. But 2020, that was the year I decided Shawnna Sweet Treats is for real.
That's for real. Okay. So with that, one, I commend you because I talk to a lot of different business owners, entrepreneurs, just people in general. And a lot of them did have that common theme of starting during the pandemic or starting within the midst of that. So one, I would say this is a pandemic podcast in a sense. Like, I didn't really start this as a result of the pandemic, but I started this during the pandemic. So to see, a time where it was a lot of uncertainty. It was a lot of, I tell people that we woke up every day and there was something new. There was something, it was a new headline, a new variant, a new virus, a new something going. You couldn't cough in front of people. You couldn't sneeze. It was crazy. But essentially anybody who was able to curate something, to brand themselves, to position themselves for promotion, market, everything like that, I take my hat off to you, my imaginary hat. But it was, that was a very hard time. That was very tough. It wasn't something that was just easy. So for you, okay, you said you're an experimenter. You said that, people will come to you with just different visions, just different plans and everything like that. What would you say you're most proud of right now? What have you done? Because I'm not gonna lie, I watched the page. I seen the page. I even put some of your work in my promotional video and all of that for this. And I see a lot of what you do. I see a lot of things that I know I could never do. I see a lot of things that look kind of crazy. My cousin makes cakes, her in the lab cakes. So big shout out to Sheena. She's tapped in with me. But it's a lot that goes into that, just from the colors to the themes and everything like that. So what is a project that somebody has come to you with and you were really like on the back end, like, damn, I'm proud of her. I did that. That was Shawn. Like, that was me. I put my stamp on that.
Honestly, the cake I'm working on now, I have not posted it, so you won't find it. But it's a Stranger Things cake. Okay. I don't watch that show. Not interested. Not sci-fi girl. But watching YouTube videos, learning new things, like just taking different techniques from other bakers I've seen, YouTube University, Instagram, just letting my mind wander. Like, I'd see a bunch of different images of what someone else has created, and it's just like, that's cute, but I could do that better. So I'll just take a bunch of ideas and then curate my own kind of cake. So that'll be finished tonight, tomorrow, one of those times. So when I post it, you guys can see it, and I will say I'm very proud of that cake.
I love that. Okay. I'm not, I probably watched like 2 episodes of Stranger Things, so I'm right there with you. I'm not really tapped in, but all right. So thinking about what you do, thinking about, kind of how you still have to have a balance, because you do work another job outside of your business, right? And things like that.
Unfortunately.
So when it, I feel y'all. Look, I work too. I love my job to death, but I'm definitely trying to get out of there, make it full time, down to business type thing. But so with what you do, I know a big thing has to be balance. I know that you get a lot of different orders. I know that you had things that had to be ready for today. I know that you were even telling me that you got an order last night, trying to walk out of work. Somebody kind of stopped you. You was ready to go, but nonetheless, it turned into business for you. So can you just talk about that work-life balance? Can you talk about how it is, you know, when you got 3 cakes or when you got some cupcakes that you got to put together? Because I look at your work and it's very extravagant. It's not just your Publix, your 6 cupcakes and just, you know, they put some icing around it or things like that. You really kind of get in the lab in a sense. So can you also talk about how you've been able to handle what you have going on top of orders, on top of requests, on top of deadlines and things like that, and still give you all at your 9 to 5?
I'll be honest, I don't give my all at my 9 to 5.
Okay. I try to give you the benefit of the doubt. Okay. All right.
I do what I need to do to get the job done.
Absolutely.
But working is definitely one of those things where it's like this pays the bills, but baking is my passion. So I'm passionate about every order. Like, yeah, I'm gonna go to work. Some days I might call out. It's like I gotta get this cake. So I'm worried about myself and my future. I'm gonna put me first. And so different jobs I've had in the past. Some jobs I work 12-hour shifts, 5 days a week. But I still, if I got orders, I'm gonna stay up all night if I got to get this order done and sleep, you know, the next day. Maybe I call out. Just depends on how I'm feeling. The job I have now is pretty lax, so I do use a lot of that free time to get more ideas. Like I said, YouTube University, I could just sit and watch some YouTube videos. Like, okay, like when I get home, I'm going to test this out, see if that works, save this video. But it's like pretty hard to sleep. That's more so the things that I lack in. I don't get a lot of sleep, but it's okay because I'm working towards myself and going for my passion and my goals.
Okay. So you kind of told on yourself a little bit about the job and not giving your all. That's going to be okay on this interview. Are you good for that?
Fine.
All right, bet. So yeah,
my manager knows.
So for the, you know, hopefully her manager is tapping in. Hopefully you're seeing this. You know, she's trying her hardest. She's doing everything that she has to do. But she also has a business. You know, she also has things that she has to do. She has a goal. You know, so I think you should support her just the same if you're not already. But all right. So thinking about, so you said one thing I want to keep focusing on, you're an experimenter. You've done different. As somebody who's not a baker, I'm very just interested in that because, you know, I deem myself as I can cook. I'll kill a grill. Like, you know, you put me in front of a grill, I'm definitely that dude. But I think I can, you know, cook. I'm here. I'm still surviving. I eat. I don't eat out a lot. So I'm doing something right. But nonetheless, with experimenting, with just baking in general, can we talk about some of the trials and the tribulations? Can we talk about, because I know you burnt some things. I know you messed up some things. Can we, you know, not to put, you know, I want to give everybody every side of you. So I want them to see, you know, obviously the samples are right there. The samples are, they looking a little scarce from what I can see. So people have been eating them, but I know you placed a couple of orders. You've delivered on some orders here today. But can we talk about just the opposite side? What's the stress on it? Yeah, the ugly side. You know, what's the stress, Shawnna, look like? What is when the cake sinks in a little bit too much, when the icing is not spreading the way that it needs to, when you forgot something, a business or a service? What are some of the kinks to what you do? What are some of the hard things that you have to do? What are some things that you're doing behind the scenes that people are not necessarily seeing from the content that you post?
The fails, they don't come as often these days, thank God.
Right.
But they definitely have happened. I've had my share of like, wow, I really thought I followed the recipe. Oh, I added salt, not sugar. Like,
ooh.
Never been that bad, but like too much salt in certain things.
Right.
Like, it's just, I would say, like, granted, it's not really a fail because it turned into a masterpiece.
Uh-oh.
But I had some cupcakes I told I'd make for a coworker, tried a new recipe, put it in. They all sucked. They all look hideous. Like, I'm a person, aesthetic is a thing. So I care about how it looks. Like, it'll taste great, cool, but I need it to also look aesthetically pleasing. They look terrible, so I bought random molds. Hobby Lobby, love a sale. So
right.
They all had me buying some stuff. So cake sickles had just become a thing. So I bought a mold for that, got some chocolate, and, you know, crumbled up the cake that was destroyed and turned those into cake pops. So those were the first time I made like real cake sickles. Like, they're the big one, not the little round ones that I got like giveaway, but like the cake sickles. It was a masterpiece, honestly, because I seen it on Instagram here and there. It was still new, but I was very proud. Like, wow, turn this mess, because my goodness, it was a mess, dough everywhere. A few other times testing out recipes. Like I don't like pie. People like pie. Making pie dough is stressful.
Okay.
Definitely have gone, put in the oven. Oh, that didn't rise. Okay. Gotta back to the drawing board. See where I went wrong. Reread the recipe. Tweak the recipe. Find 5 different recipes. Compare them and see how they're alike. And then create a new product. And hopefully this time it works out.
It rises. Okay.
Yes.
So you said you don't like pie. You don't like to make pie, or you don't like to eat pie? Or is it both?
I'll eat pie. Not
Okay.
a pie person.
Not a pie person. That's just not like your go-to.
Like a graham cracker crust
Ooh.
rather than pie crust.
That sounds good. Okay. You're giving me some ideas here. All right, I got you.
Okay.
So cake sickles, that's a very interesting concept. Like I said, I stay away from the sweet, so a lot of these things are kind of going to be new to me. So, okay. In thinking about what you offer, like products, services, everything like that, is there anything kind of you don't do? Has somebody ever come to you with a product, with a service, with something that they wanted, with a vision that maybe you weren't able to fulfill? Is there anything that kind of opened you up a little bit? Because like you said, you do. Something I also want to touch on a little bit later is you talked about research. You talk about, you're looking at different recipes.
Mm-hmm.
You get different motivations and things from different shows, different people, however that may be. But has anybody ever come to you with something where you're just like, wow, that's kind of out of my spectrum a little bit, or maybe out of my kind of range, and you kind of had to take a step back or anything like that? Or like you said, is everything just a masterpiece nonetheless?
No, I won't take that much credit. I would say the only thing I don't do is macarons. You might see those little sandwich cookies. It's with almond flour. That takes a lot of time. I have made them before, but it is something that you have to work on. And even when you perfect it, surprise, it's still something went wrong. So those are probably the only things someone's brought to me where I was just like, yeah, I don't do that. I'm sorry. I'm going to have to decline this offer. I can make any other cookies you're looking for. Like I have said, I am allergic to nuts, so it's made with almond flour. So I can't really taste it to say if it's good to you, and I don't want to provide a product that's not actually good or of quality.
Damn. So you're allergic to
Yeah, all of them.
But you made the butter pecan.
Yeah.
How'd you do that?
Someone requested it because I'd never really heard of butter pecan cake because I can't eat it.
That sounds disgusting. But not to say yours is disgusting. No. Yeah, butter. To me, I'm not a butter pecan ice cream person either. So I'm sorry if I offend anybody in there. That just doesn't sound appetizing. But I know it's some butter pecan.
Thank you.
I knew it was gonna be some butter. I knew it. I just knew it. But for the nut, that sounds like that plays a very crucial role into what you do. I feel like there are nuts in everything almost. So. Yeah. That's just a side of the things that you can't try. It's that you kind of just, would you say you kind of just hope for the best? Like when you make products like that, do you just know like what goes in making that butter pecan cake for that person? Were you nervous at all? Was it any kind of?
Initially, yes, but because they put in an order for some cake sickles and they were like, I want butter pecan. I was like, okay, well, when you want the order so I can test out some recipes, because that's what I do for especially things I've never made before and I can't try it. Right. Yeah, I'm going to plan ahead, like, okay, let's make a small batch, bring some samples, let the people tell me, y'all like this, y'all like this? Okay, all right. This is a good recipe. I'm going to favorite that because I'm searching for a new one and testing out. That's how it goes typically for anything nut products specifically. I'm like highly, highly allergic to peanuts, so I hate when people ask me to make peanut cookies. Like I'm gloves, a mask. Like the smell makes me so nauseous. So like to avoid it, but people want what they want, so I'm not gonna say no.
Gotcha.
I'm not gonna kill myself.
I was about to say you're gonna put your life on the line for it though. No. That's interesting. That's somebody who I don't really know what I'm allergic to, if anything. I actually want to do an allergy test soon, but I've never. That's a very prevalent allergy. The job I work at, some people have like nut allergies and things like that. Mm-hmm. So even when I'm setting stuff up, I try to be cognizant. Even today, I had to apologize to Jessica and Shay because I'm used to like having an order for like gluten-free, vegan, different things like that. And I kind of just dropped the ball today. So I apologize to those ladies. But there are just different things that you have to consider, with allergies, with people, everything like that. But the fact that, because for me, if I was in your field, I would make that known on my page. That's just me. I would say, look, anything nut-based, cancel me out. I'm not putting my life on the line for them. But I think the fact that you still do that, the fact that you take your precautions, you make that happen, that's still a testament to you and your business. You're gonna make a masterpiece. So I like that a lot. So thinking about, you talked about originally getting your motivation and getting your start with really cooking with your dad and everything like that. Would you say that there was anything kind of moving into the baking side that motivated you? Are there any, I guess, bakers or whatever y'all call them, that you look to, that you try to emulate, that you derive motivation from? You know, because there are certain podcasters who I listen to, people who I like, people who, you know,
Right.
I want to get to that level someday. Even I was talking to Ryder before, he was kind of telling me, he was asking me ultimately what my goal is. And I said, you know, if I could be like $1 million worth of game, or like an I Am Athlete, or like Earn Your Leisure, or anybody like that, I'm gonna be better than them, of course.
Of course.
But I want to kind of strive and thrive. Those are people who I look to because they motivate me a lot. Would you say on your side, you have anybody that you kind of look to, anybody who you want to be, or is this just Shawnna through and through?
This is me. Like, I follow like certain people on Instagram, certain bakers, but nobody mainstream. I honestly don't watch a lot of TV between work,
Me and you
baking.
both.
I ain't seen TV in like 2 months. So
So
every once in a while, I'll check out, because everyone, I think it was Nailed It on Netflix. They were like, you watch that? You should be on that. I'm like, never seen it, but sounds like a great time. And I watched like one episode, and it does look like an amazing show and a great opportunity. Would love to be on something like that. But honestly, it just stems from my childhood. Duff Goldman, that was the baker on Ace of Cakes, and he was who I looked up to. Like, wow, he is creating art out of cake, and I want to do that too. More recently, no specific bakers out there that I'm striving to be. I just see what I like and try to recreate it, or, you know, make it Shawnna's Sweet Treats.
Shawnna's Sweet Treats. I like that. It was funny because I was looking at my a funny story about the promo video. So I don't know how many of y'all saw the promo video, but essentially it was a video where I was acting like it was a late night in the lab for me. I was tired. And then essentially I kind of just dozed off. And in me dozing off, I had a dream about Shawnna's Sweet Treats. And it was just when I woke up, I couldn't remember the name exactly. I was kind of trying to draw from some things. And then once I figured it out, there was another scene of me kind of making a call to her. I got her voicemail, which she recorded for. It was good, yeah, because I was kind of hitting you with some crazy requests. I know you was probably looking at me like I was wild, but it all came together. You followed the vision for sure. Because so much so that my grandma called me and was just like, honey, I think you need to get some rest. I saw a video of you, because I post all my stuff on different platforms. So like Facebook hits it, Instagram sees it, everything like that. My grandma's not active on Instagram, but very active on Facebook. So grandma, I love you. Shout out to you. But she actually texted me, I'm sorry, and said, I saw a video of you. Is everything okay? Like, you need to get some rest. Like, I think you posted like how tired you were. Like, are you good? I said, oh no, grandma, I think I did the job right then. But no, that was just an act. Like, everything is okay. I'm good. Because my grandma, she gonna check stuff. Like, but she did, you know, we did what we had to do with that video. But essentially, that just made me laugh. Like, it was just a funny thing. But I was looking at, you know, in making that video and going through the promotion, I went through a lot of your page. I went through a lot of kind of what you had going on and everything like that. And I was just amazed. I was just like, I didn't even know, one, people ask for certain things like this, and two, you could bring the vision to life. You could kind of make it happen. Okay, so I get that. So thinking about now your goals, your aspirations, ultimately the future for this. Like you said, you want to, once again, I'm speaking to the manager here. It's not that she wants to leave the job, but, you know, nobody wants to work a 9 to 5 for the rest of their life, you know. Right. So essentially she wants to move on to bigger and better eventually. So with thinking about what you want to do full time, with thinking about moving into that direction, into that field, ultimately, if you could have it your way, if you could do things Shawnna's way, what does that look like for you? Do you have your own show? Do you have your own studio? Do you have your own, what is that, own kitchen, own setup? Because I even saw you post something about the other day. You said, damn, I need a bigger freezer or something like that. Because your freezer was pretty stacked, I'm not going to lie. You motivated me. I need to go do some food shopping. But I just moved into a new spot, so relax. But yeah, what does that look like for you? If you could really have it your way, as I was saying, I spoke about to Ryder about what I wanted to do and ultimately where I wanted to be. What does that look like for you on your end? How would you have it?
I don't like this question. Only because,
Good.
you know.
Good. Because I wanted to put you on. What did I tell you yesterday? I'm going to put you on the spot.
I love it.
Yeah.
I'm here. Dreams I have, like, of course, making cakes every day. Honestly, it really just makes me happy to create, and knowing I'm creating it for somebody, like the experience that they see, the reaction that people have when they see my cakes, that is what I live for. So regardless if it's a small commissary kitchen I do it in, preferably not my kitchen, it's too small. TV-wise, never been wanting to be in front of a camera in that way, so that's not really ideally where I'm going. I really enjoy making cakes for people, so celebrities, small people, children, it doesn't really matter who I'm making it for. If I can bring somebody happiness and joy with my treats, that's honestly what I enjoy about. Yeah.
Okay, I got you.
That's the big vision.
Okay, Shawnna's Sweet Treats. I love it. Okay, so what has been, even speaking to that, bringing happiness, bringing joy, fulfilling people's orders, what has been a really defining, a proud moment for you? What has been something where you finished with an order, you curated something for a vibe, a party, or anything like that? May have even got some good feedback, may have even got good reviews and everything, but something you can look back on today. Now, you okay? Make as much noise as you need to, please. Something that you really look back on and you're like, wow, I did that, or I'm really proud of that, or even they gave, testimonials, everything like that.
I have a few cakes. All the cakes that I make that look realistic, I'm very proud of those because never imagine it's like you see those purse cakes because I do have one on my Instagram. I also have a boob cake. Those are like my top two.
Is it a boob cake?
Yep.
Okay. I just had to make sure. Nah, you good. That's good. That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah. So
Sorry,
a girl. Sorry, Grandma. I had a girl. She was like, I want my boobs on a cake for my boyfriend for his birthday. And I was just like, okay. She didn't send me hers, but she's like, this is roughly what they look like.
I'm with you.
So, have I ever made a boob cake? No. It's like, one of the issues with never doing things, the pricing, I sell myself short, but we won't get into that. So I just test out, try. I know what boobs look like, so just make boobs covered in hot fondant, paint it the right color, or get the right color fondant, and it's like, wow, I did that. Also with the purse, let's not just stay on the boobs.
Oh, that purse was good. The purse was good.
Yeah, that was for a party. Like most people, I don't send pictures like let you know like this is how it's going. Like no, I want the reveal. Like you're gonna be surprised. Like wow, I didn't know that was possible.
Okay.
Like even the bag that I did. It was a random bag I found off, not Instagram, but I Googled green bags because her favorite color was green. And the lady who designed the bag actually, like, reposted on her page. And I was like, okay.
Oh, that's fire.
It's like, I never heard of you, lady, but, I'm going to buy your purses now because I'm making them. So I've always been into the realistic things. Like those are the ones.
Okay, so ladies, look. Get your man a boob cake. That's essentially what I heard. That sounds very interesting. She didn't give you hers, but that was, that's a good review. I mean, fellas, look, ask for a boob cake, whatever you got to do. But no, essentially, I think that's cool. I think the fact that you can, kind of take somebody's vision, take something that I'm always impressed by, like tattoo artists, like bakers, food people who can essentially take a vision, take something that I either write down, I type out to you, or I give to you, and ultimately bring it to life, like recipes, food, all of that. I think that's very cool. So something you spoke on also was about recipes and kind of doing research on things and kind of getting into the lab with things before you officially start. Would you say that a lot of what you do, a lot of the products that you curate, a lot of things that you make, are you a recipe-based person? Do you kind of just go from scratch? Do a lot of things become second nature? Are you somebody who you have the measuring cups, you have all the exact measurements? Are you the by hand person? You just gonna season it till you make a shake, or like is it kind of a mix of both? What does your creative process really look like with orders?
Okay, so specifically for recipes, can't shake it and hope it's the best. Like I said, baking is science. So you do too little, now your cake is it's still better. You put it in the oven, it's still wet. Why? Because you didn't add enough flour, because you sprinkled it. So definitely using the measuring cup. I use a scale, actually. It's more accurate. But definitely in the lab, when it comes to recipes, you have to follow a set recipe. I haven't gotten into making my own recipes for certain cakes. So I am just, Google, tweak here and there. But recipes definitely play a big part because you just trusted somebody else who did the work. Now you test it out. It's like, this actually isn't good. I don't know who
this actually isn't good.
Take this down. Yeah. Or then, you get on to, okay, this is an amazing recipe. I'm a favorite. This is the only thing I'm going to use. And then when I get that recipe, I'll tweak it. Like I've had a few different vanilla recipes, but sometimes it works good for cake, doesn't work good for cupcakes. So now I got to find a new one that's specifically for smaller cakes that are going to bake at a slower rate.
Okay. So I'm seeing some people in here that probably never shopped with you per se, never probably ordered from you or anything like that. That's all going to change after today, though, right, people?
Right. Hit me up.
Thank you for the interaction.
I'm free. I'm quitting soon. I can feel it.
You heard it. All right. So I'm sorry this had to be the interview to break it to you, but she's not coming back after a certain time. All right. So if y'all hiring, though, just let me know. We can plug some people into you. But so eventually, for people who have never necessarily shopped with you, never DM'd you, never kind of gone through the Google form, because I told you that I kind of had to hit you on the side because I didn't know if your Google form was very specific, and I was kind of last minute, and I just wanted some. So I appreciate you for that. But nonetheless, what can people expect for the Shawnna experience when somebody's coming to you? There are a lot of different bakers out here. There are a lot of people who do cakes. Like I said, my cousin does it in Philly and everything like that. But what makes you you? What makes Shawnna Shawnna? What would make somebody return to you? What would make somebody kind of look at? What would make somebody want to come to you and request a boob cake? What would make somebody want to come to you and request a purse or anything like that? What is shopping with you, your experience, your process? Like you said, you're not somebody who kind of gives things along the way. And that's a very important man that just walked in. He has a sticky notes for the giveaway, so shout out to him. But what would make somebody want to continue to return back? What have made those good reviews and those testimonials really stand true? What do you do that's so special about your craft, your service specifically?
I think it's because I actually care about the people. Like, I know I may not know you, but it's like you're a person. Like, you came here for a product. I have worked in customer service my whole life, so I know customers can be difficult. But if you work with them, they work with you. So all the people that have come to me, whether strangers, because I definitely had a random order. I'm like, I do not know this name. I'm about to have a stranger come to my house to pick up a cake. Going to be nice to meet you, but don't know how you found me, whether it's social media or word of mouth. But that's what we want. Like, you want people to talk about all the things you did or how great the service was, how great the quality of the cake was, just the experience. Like, wow, that looks amazing. So that's what I want everyone to feel when they get cakes from me, regardless of how personal it is. If I mess up, I will let you know. Like, I throw a discount in. It's like, I messed up. If I can fix it, I will. If you're cool with this mess up, I'll give you a discount. Cool. But like, I'm for the people. So I'm not like hard to talk to. Like, if you got an issue, like, oh, last minute, can you do this? I know on my form it does say 2 weeks notice, but if you hit me up and it's a small order, that's fine. I've definitely done last minute rush orders. Somebody hit me up 2 days before wanting a whole cake. It's like, that ain't happening. But compromise. We did cupcakes, and I spent a lot of time, and honestly, I love them. It was those Mean Girl cupcakes. They hit me up 2 days before, and I had to hand cut, draw everything for each cupcake topper, but I was here for it. And would I have just thought of that just because? No. People bring new ideas to me so I can put out and say, like, oh, I do this. Right. Just something new.
I got you. I'm actually kind of glad you spoke about, too, word of mouth and things like that. Something that I'm so very interested about all of the people who I speak with is how do essentially what you do, how does that get out to other people? So with you, I know you said word of mouth. I know you even said yesterday somebody kind of stopped you. You was ready to get up out of that thing. Yeah. So once again, I feel like I'm revealing to your manager a lot of things that you feel about your job, but it's okay. But essentially, yeah, with you, what would you say is your big, because you said you were kind of later to the Instagram game. You said that, and maybe you may not even do what you want to do on there as far as like marketing and everything. You feel like, there's always room for improvement, everything like that. But what would you say is your biggest kind of form of promotion? Are you doing different events? Or is this kind of word of mouth? Has it been from previous orders that you fulfilled and other people kind of asking about you? Would you say social media has given you a good following? What has really worked for you in Shawnna Sweet Treats?
I would say word of mouth is the biggest form of my clients and clientele, typically my jobs, because like I told you, I'm going to promote myself. I was in Walmart at the bakery because I needed something from them, and some people were like upset. And guess what I did? Hey, I'm a pastry chef. There's my Instagram. Here's my business card. Like, if you need a cake in the future, I know Walmart works for those last minute orders, but if you need something because they're not, up to par, I'm going to promote myself. I don't have an issue talking to anybody. Right now, I'm not in pop-up shops like I want to be. Hopefully in the spring, once that, this Christmas and holiday season is up, I'll be back and in markets like I want to be, out for the local people. It's like the big cakes, I can't ship those. So the people who are out of state want these, like, we both gonna be driving to meet halfway for a cake. I'll do it if that's what you really want and you want it by me. I appreciate the love for it. But with markets, I definitely want to get to the local people of Charlotte. So I guess I'm not moving.
Gotcha. I guess you're not moving. You might have to run it back out here. Yeah. I told you I got a love-hate relationship with Charlotte, so I appreciate all y'all in the building, but I'll be trying to get out of here as soon as I can. I'm not going to lie. But I love my Charlotte folks stuff. Oh, for sure, for sure. So with you, with everything, with what you talked about today, with what's to come for the future and everything like that, what would you say the people can expect? Would you say that there's anything holding you back right now, aside from the job? Excuse me, to her manager. Would you say that there's anything that you want to achieve, any goals that you have for yourself, any new avenues that you're looking to get into? Any, I know you spoke on macaroons and just things that you don't do, but is there anything that you've kind of been researching, kind of been looking? I know the year is almost over. I know 2023 is here. Is there any kind of new lanes or new avenues, new ventures, anything that you can, something I'm big on, you'll find out. I like to reveal things. I like to grab this. I like to pick and choose. Whatever I can get out of you, just let me know. Now, obviously, I don't want to spoil anything that you have going on. No. But what can you share with the people? What can they expect? Because I know some people are going to be tapping in with you after this. I know some people are going to want to know really what you do. I know they like I said, they're killing the samples. So I know they're going to want to do a follow-up. So what can we expect from you moving forward?
Soon I will have my website up. It's been a work in progress. And then I psych myself out because I like to say I'm not a perfectionist, but the way I act, it's giving perfectionist. So I just need it to look great. It is not launched yet, but ShawnnaSweetTreats.com will be out soon, hopefully end of this year. So you won't have to use that Google form specifically for cakes. I know some people have had issues, or it just causes questions, confusion. So hopefully soon that website will be up so you guys can order, and I'll have shipping available. That is more so where I'm going for myself. Like, I want to reach out to the people. Like, I'm from 252. So when I go home, everybody like wants to put in an order, and it's like, the lab is in Charlotte. Right. So if I can bring stuff home, I will, but I do want to get into being able to ship so I can reach more people rather than just, the Charlotte area.
Because we need you in Tampa. I'm not going to lie. I'm tired of nothing but cakes. They be taxing. They be taxing. It's good cake. It's good stuff, but they be taxing.
Yeah.
So, but I ain't rich. But okay, so with what you do, I feel like every profession, every industry has misconceptions. They have things that people think are true, or people may think from what you see on social media may hold to be true, or things like that. With you, what are any misconceptions about your work, about what you do behind the scenes, about having a job on top of this and still having to be, a business owner, still having to fulfill orders? Are there any things where, like you said, I was on CPT, the Google form, so I didn't really fill that out, but I could imagine, other people are similar to me and they don't always go the right route, the right direction. So would you say there are any things that people may think don't hold true? Are there any things behind the scenes that people may need to know about, just to give a deeper dive into what you really do, into what people expect, into, when you get off work, you still go home and you're a business owner now. Now you got to throw on the apron, and I don't know if you wear the hat or not, but you be getting in there, you be chefing it up. So what are just some things that you can speak to that for people who may not be involved in that particular industry may just need to know about?
I'll say I wear all the hats personally, as most entrepreneurs probably do when they first start. Like, you're everybody. You are your own assistant. You are your own order fulfillment. You're your manager. You're the CEO. You are the employee. You're everything to yourself. Like, I keep up with it, but I'm starting more to, navigate and delegate certain things. Like, okay, I need my house cleaned. When am I going to do that? If I got to go to work, bake, I want some free time, some sleep. So just getting send my laundry out. I really want to get a maid, honestly, to clean my home.
You send your laundry out?
Yeah.
Like, you don't do your own laundry?
No. I can pick it up. Certain services.
Got money, y'all. I'll be at that washing machine.
Another day.
Okay. Sheesh.
Certain services, you have to delegate to.
That's fire.
Just to have some type of balance for yourself. So misconceptions, like, it's just cake. Like, yes, it is just cake, but it's something that you want. It's a vision that you want me to recreate. So it's not just cake to me. This is an experience for me. Like, I'm enjoying staying up all night. Like, I didn't realize I was up till 5 this morning because I was just like decorating, enjoying. Because it's a vibe. I got the music going. Okay. Matt Keen, if you don't know him, listen to him. Right. But, it's not just cake. It is work that has to be put in. Like, I'm not Walmart. They pull them out the freezer, thaw them out, there's your cake. That's just cake. Me, I have to bake it. I baked it wrong, great. Gotta bake it again. So, have to make the buttercream. I make that from scratch. I don't do too many. I'm not anti, box mix. I will tweak those to make them hit. That's actually what the red velvet is. So,
and And y'all been killing the real.
Exactly. See? So it's like, I'm not knocking box mix, but if you tweak it right, it tastes homemade and like it's from scratch. So some things just take a lot of time and people just really don't understand how much work goes into it. Like I give the price. And even though I'm probably still lowballing myself, you complaining. I would hate it for you if I paid what I deserve. Right. So it's not just cake. There is a lot that goes into it, which I love the experience that I'm putting so much extra time that I may not need to. But it makes me happy to be here and create this, like seeing your vision become my vision and I'm making it real. That is a misconception. It's like, oh, it's just cake. You can do this.
That's fire. That's fire. I'm still stuck on the laundry, but yeah, that's very funny. I need to, I'm not doing something right, then I can't do my own laundry. But you make a great point because something that Brent in my first event that he spoke about was just knowing your worth, knowing your price, knowing things like that, knowing that, he provides a specific service for people. And I'm not going to lie, like it's a lot of podcast episodes in here. I got Shawnna in here. I got Princess in here. I got K-Dot in here. I got Jordan in here. Damn, it's a blessing in here. But essentially, it's important. Whatever you do, whatever avenue, whatever industry you're in, you have to know your price. And for people, that may not be something that they agree with, or that may not be something that they want. But obviously, people are going to try to lowball, try to get in wherever they fit in for sure. But for you to stand on that shows one that you're serious about your craft, you're serious about what you do, but the work speaks for itself. I think that, like you said, there are plenty of people who you can go to the Walmarts, you can go to the Publixes, the Food Lions, whatever y'all have, and kind of go and get that quick little fix and get them to write on it and the sloppy cursive or whatever. Because that cursive, I'm not gonna lie, be sloppy. It don't be real, but for sure. But it'll work for the moment. You need a cake real quick. But I think for you, the fact that you find enjoyment, the fact that you make time even after your 9 to 5, even after what you still have a social life, you still have things that you have to do, but the fact that you lock in on your craft and your service and your business, people don't realize that. People don't realize that, after a long day, you can still come home and you just put on a different hat now. Yeah. Maybe not physically.
I was hungry yesterday.
I'm going to get you one of them hats, though. I want to see one of them hats. But you said you didn't eat yesterday. A lot of times, I know people don't realize for me, like sometimes I eat sleep for dinner for sure. Like that's just how, and not because I just couldn't. And sometimes maybe I just didn't eat or didn't want to eat out or something like that. But sometimes as an entrepreneur, as a business, I got Maggie in here too. I ain't even shout her out. I hope that ain't why she walked out. But Maggie was there. Shout out to Mama Maggie. She was like episode, I think 6 or 7 from Haiti with Love. But essentially what you do, you got to stand on that. You have to, no matter what, somebody may not like your price, but somebody else will probably pay you double for what you did. You know what I'm saying? Right. So the minute you start to, like you said, you sold yourself short in some instances. It happens. Even with the podcast, you got to look out for people or just do certain things or just, but at the end of the day, you still keep that principle. You still maintain that core value. And I think that that's so important because they don't know everything that goes into it. They don't know that you may have had to rebake this. You may have had to remeasure here. You may have messed up here. You may have had to play this song back a couple more times just because you really needed to log back in and get in that zone. But they don't get that. And I think whether you're a business owner, whether you're an entrepreneur, creative, whether you're none of that, and just a 9 to 5, and not just to say just like something is wrong with that, stay at home out, whatever you do. I think that is always important to never question what somebody really says to you as far as business and things like that. Yes, you can, be due diligent and do your research and don't just be paying crazy prices for things like that. But you also have to understand these are people too. These are people who have bills that need to be paid. Right. I got Ryder in here. He makes music. Well, he's actually outside. He makes music and things like that. But at the end of the day, if he's doing performances, if he's traveling and doing different things like that, he has worth just the same. Shawnna has worth just the same. Her cookbooks, her poetry, everything like that. Princess has worth just the same. Her products and everything like that. It's all, it all should come full circle. So I think the fact that you have that, you stand on that, you're with that, that's important. That's not easy to do. It's not easy to tell somebody that, look, my price is my price. What they say about Lamar Jackson, the price of the brick growing up. When you doing things, when you perform, it's not today's price. Shout out to DJ. It's not, but I think that elevation, that evolution is important because you look back on, what you may have done, how you may have looked out for people after a certain time when you get established a certain way. You got to move differently a little bit. I imagine that and I envision that as this podcast continues to elevate and grow. No, I'm never going to forget about my supporters. I'm never going to forget about the people who were at the first event, the second event, the third event, all 3, 2 out of the 3, however many. But I'm going to also recognize that we have to move differently. We have to tailor things a little bit differently. We're going to be a little bit more professional with what we do. I'm never going to forget about the Tax and Tea Lounge. Just where I got my start at. Like, this is fire. Yeah. This is so fire. Tax and Tea, But I think that is also important to move with intention, to move with your vision and everything like that. So before we wrap things up, before I tell people, where to tap in with you, where they can get you, everything like that, do you feel like there's anything we haven't touched on today? Anything that you want the people to know? Anything that, even a message that you may want to leave for aspiring bakers, aspiring chefs, aspiring artists, anything like that, people who want to kind of move in your direction, anything that you feel like, we haven't really gotten into that the people may need to know, anything that, as far as the cakes, as far as the samples go, because like I said, they was killing them. We about to give away some of the cake pops and things like that. But essentially, I want people to know everything about you, about Shawnna, about what you have going on. I want your manager to know. I want everybody. I want my IG live to know. I want all of that. So is there anything you feel like, we just haven't gotten into that you want to touch on?
I would say anybody that's just like on the fence about any dream they have, just go for it. Myself personally, I did go to school for hospitality management, which is still like, food and beverage. I knew where I wanted to be, but it was more restaurant stuff. Like I knew I wanted to specifically be in the bakery. I moved to Louisiana, lived there for like a year and a half.
Damn.
And it was nice. I was close to Texas, so okay. I was always over there. But I applied to go to Johnson & Wales in Charlotte. And I was like, well, if I get in, I'll move back home. Okay. And I got in. And so I have been locked in with myself ever since. So just make that decision to do it. At least try. You fail if you don't try. So at least you tried. So I would say if you have any dreams, anything you ever thought of doing, go for it. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, well, now it's trial and error. Every day with baking in itself is trial and error. Like, oh, you want this? Never done that. All right. I'm here for the challenge. Let's see how it goes. That was a fail. Cool. That hurt. All right, get back up. We got to get this done because that's what they ordered. So anything you want in life, you can have it. I promise you can.
All right. I like that. So for everybody in here, real quick, can y'all just do me a favor? Some of y'all already got them out. I just need everybody to take out your phones real quick. Please, and open up your Instagram app. I know a lot of y'all got IG. You probably wouldn't be in here if you didn't have it. Give them your social media so that they can follow you real quick. The best social media for them to follow you at. Let me know who doesn't follow you.
Okay.
I'm going to invite them to the next one. No, I'm just playing. But yeah, she going to give y'all her Instagram. Please just show her some love. Give her a follow. Like some posts. Know that she is in Charlotte and North Carolina and the surrounding area. Share something. Tap somebody in. So yeah, whenever you're ready, just give your social media for the people. My
Instagram is Shawnna Sweet Treats. SHAWNNASSWEETTREATS.
Shawnna Sweet Treats.
Long,
It's a mouthful.
It is.
Come on, we got it.
SST. It's like I want to,
Yeah. We got it.
Get sure, that, but I can't. It's taken.
And so, would you say Instagram is the best place to reach you as well?
Yes,
for the people who
definitely. Instagram is the best place. I have a Facebook, and it's same Shawnna Sweet Treats. Not as active, if I'm being honest. I'm not on Facebook like that. I try to, link those two. So if it posts to Instagram, cool. With Facebook, good over there. But I do check that if that's all you have. I don't want to give out my number because don't do that. Here. But soon the website will be up. I'm going to say January 1st, 2023 for sure. It will be up, ShawnnaSweetTreats.com. I'm excited to see, what you guys bring for me to make.
All right, now. All right. So to you, to everybody, to live, to my website, sorry. I'm appreciative. I'm very grateful. Trying to see. You see, they're trying to mess us up. But no, essentially, look, this has been, we went 3 for 3. I'm very happy. I'm very excited. Next year starts the East Coast tour. So essentially, I guess to just give y'all some look into the vision, I want to do a live event in pretty much every city on the East Coast that I was born in New York, raised in Philly. So kind of want to start up top and just work my way down. So like New York, Philly, the DMV area, North Carolina, it'll probably be Raleigh next time. So y'all gonna have to make y'all way to Raleigh for those who not in there. I gotta cater to my sister and all the folks who couldn't make it. So sending big love and big shout out to my sister as well. I love you, shawty. Atlanta, Texas, and then I want to end in Tampa. So if you heard any cities that you resonate with, if you heard any places that you need to be, I definitely want y'all everywhere. But if however we go, that's like I said, ultimately I want this to really just be a vision, a vibe for everybody. But to everybody in here, to all the beautiful faces, to all the people, man, I'm very appreciative. I'm happy. We about to turn up after this for sure. I'm gonna need somebody, please, to go tap my DJ because I don't know what he's doing outside, but he needs to come back in here. So appreciate you, Jordan. But no, essentially, big shout out to Tashiba, big shout out to Hassan. Thank you so much just for this vibe, just for allowing us to come together. It really is bringing me to tears. I'm really trying to hold them back right now, but I'm just happy. I always take a hug, but I'm just grateful. We was able to get Brenton in here. We was able to get Dr. Travis Whiteside in here. We were now able to have Shawnna Sweet Treats in here. So, like I said to everybody, just keep staying tapped in with the vision. Just know that I have so much more planned for y'all, so much that I want to do. We're going to have a live performance directly after this, so please show some love to my man, Ryder. Do not forget the Van Gogh. Make sure y'all tap into his episode. I believe it's episode 116. Don't hold me to it, but I know the name is all about aesthetic. So tap into that. I try to keep it in my memory bank. But I'm happy. I'm definitely very glad. Big shout out to my IG. If you weren't able to be here, I'm sorry for you. If you were able to be here, I'm very happy. I'm very appreciative. But nonetheless, this has been another episode of the Down to Business podcast. Here with Tamar Turner. Here with Shawnna Sweet Treats.